Okay, we're getting new word of a new attack on U.S. military base here that Iran-backed militias in Iraq claim responsibility for the attack on the U.S. military base in Syria. U.S. currently has about 900 troops in Syria and 2,500 in Iraq. So they're claiming responsibility for this, like, hey, good job, guys. We're proud of this. We're proud that we're attacking Americans. So just think about this here as what are they happy to bring the U.S. into the war here? They're happy that they're going to bring the United States into this Israel Hamas Gaza war. Think about this for a moment. And we're starting to see the enemies mount against the United States, team up against the United States, even attack the United States. Take a look at what Senate Minority Leader of the Republicans in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, who's been around for decades, has to say.
I think we're confronted with a major international situation. If you go back to the fall of the Berlin Wall, it was widely said that we went into a holiday with history. We had a couple of conflicts related to terrorism in Afghanistan and in Iraq, but no big power competition. Fast forward to today, we still have the terrorist threat challenge, which the Israelis are trying to deal with. And we have big power competition from China, Russia. So in many ways, the world is more endangered today than it has been in my lifetime. So the question is America going to lead? I think the Biden administration sent the wrong signal when they had the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. I think that was like giving a green light to Putin to go into Ukraine. And we see that Iran, the principal sponsor of terrorism, sending drones to the Russians and attacking Hezbollah, in this particular situation, Hamas, attacking the Israelis with drones. So it's all connected. That you can't separate out one part of it and say, oh, we're only going to deal with this. It's all connected.
So the White House is now coming forward with a $105 billion request, and they are linking all these things: Israel, Ukraine, Taiwan, the southern border. A number of your GOP colleagues object to that. But let's start with Senator Rand Paul. He says this.
Our deficit this year will exceed $1.5 trillion. Borrowing money from China to send it to Ukraine makes no sense.
So what is your answer to that, this idea of taking money from somebody who doesn't wish us the best in all circumstances in order to pay for Ukraine?
Well, he's certainly right that the deficit is entirely too big, and it frankly was expanded during the previous administration as well. So I think neither side has done a very good job of dealing with the deficit. However, you have to respond to conditions that actually exist, that are a threat to the United States. The Iranians are a threat to us as well. And so this is an emergency. It's an emergency that we step up and deal with this axis of evil: China, Russia, Iran, because it's an immediate threat to the United States. And so we'll see what the supplemental looks like. We're going to take a good hard look at it. And I and most of my members believe we need something credible on the border as well. I mean, if we're going to challenge, accept the financial responsibility of helping our allies, we certainly want to do something to help ourselves. And so we'll give this supplemental request a serious look, probably recommend some changes as well.
You can let me know your thoughts here, but all that seems to make a pretty decent amount of sense to me. And remember here, Iran is currently attacking the United States at this moment. We've been having attacks against the United States bases here for days right now. And Hezbollah has been attacking here on multiple different fronts and multiple different smaller skirmishes here for days. And it's probably only a matter of time until they enter the war with their 100,000 strong troops against Israel, our ally for decades, in full force. And now former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, after 8 Republicans sided with the Democrats to remove him, is concerned of terror sleeper cells in the United States amid the Israel Hamas war, and says a new speaker must prioritize the border. Take a look at this.
You had Steve Scalise, you had Jim Jordan, who couldn't get enough votes. Do you think Tom Emmer will actually be able to get enough votes to be speaker? Because all of my reporting suggests it's an uphill battle.
I do. I believe it's going to be an uphill battle, but if you simply look at what's the chaos right now, a wide open southern border, I'm concerned about a cell sitting inside America today. We just caught 18 people just last month on the FBI terrorist watch list coming across our border. More than 160 have done it this year, a record breaking. When we're looking around the Middle East and the uprisings popping up around Europe and others, they could be sleeper cells right now in America, but this administration has done nothing to change what's happening on the southern border. We got government funding where our troops wouldn't be paid sitting here in a month. Tom Emmer has been a part of our successes, from not just winning the majority, but being in the room to help us pass a border security bill, to make us energy independent, Parents' Bill of Rights, to stand up when the Democrats wanted to defund the police and decriminalize so many of those laws. And he has been successful. Yeah. This is not a time for a learning experience as Speaker. Tom would be able to walk into the job and do it on day.
But, Mr. Speaker, you're talking about all of the urgent needs, all of the pressure, including the war in Israel. Why isn't that enough to have already gotten a speaker in place holding the gavel? Why should it be any different now with Tom Emmer? You said the same thing about Jim Jordan last week.
Well, I think why wouldn't it be the case that I'd still be in the job? Unfortunately, we have 8 people led by Gates that put something different in their belief. I don't know why they would follow Gates about his ethics complaint. I don't know what's in it. I legally can't be involved in it. It must be rather serious to put this much jeopardy into this nation. I would have hoped that everyone would come together with their put the country before the politics and actually solve this. Steve Scalise would have done an excellent job. I supported him. Jim Jordan would have. I just know this is not a time to play games. This is embarrassing for the Republican Party. It's embarrassing for the nation, and we need to look at one another and solve the problem.
Mr. Speaker, just to put a very fine point on it, if there is not a speaker, if Emmer cannot get the votes, would you rule out running for speaker again to get your old job back?
Look, I don't need the title. I'm going to help in any way I can.
I don't hear you ruling it out, Mr. Speaker. Would you rule it out?
Look, I know you have your job. I'm supporting Tom Emmer, but I'm going to tell you, I'm still a member of Congress, and I'm going to lead in any capacity I can help to protect America. I'm going to work to secure our border. I'm going to work to stop the inflation. I'm going to make sure war does not break out in Israel and that Israel has every resource they need to defend themselves. But most importantly, I'm going to press this administration. We have to destroy Hamas, but you cannot do it without confronting Iran. They need to change their policies. Iran only had $4 billion in the foreign exchange when they took office. They now have $70 billion. Iran only produced 400,000 barrels of oil a day when Biden took office. They now produce 3 million. They're getting billions of dollars to fund terrorism around the world, and you cannot stop Hamas. You cannot get the American hostages back without confronting Iran. Okay. And they cannot make the same mistake they did in Afghanistan. We have to be very clear. Every single American has to come home. No one will be left behind. And I can do that as a congressman. I can do that as a citizen. And I will do it and stand up for the American people.
And Mr. Speaker, just to be very clear, we didn't hear you rule out potentially putting your name back in if there's no speaker.
So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I will keep you up to date. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on any new videos. Don't forget to like and share these videos here as well. Click here to see what Congress is preparing for right now. Or click here to see the son of Hamas, the interview he just gave. It's crazy. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.